everyone, it's Michelle Caruana, owner of Climbing Vines Cafe and Play and creator of Play Cafe Academy. Now today's video is going to be a little bit different because I am going to be interviewing our cafe manager who has been with us for just under 2 years. Her name is Sarah, and I'm going to be asking her all sorts of questions about her day-to-day job, about what she loves about her job, about what the most difficult parts are, and she's really honest. So if you love this video, then please subscribe to our channel. We put out a new video every single week, and we have some really amazing videos planned, especially for the next coming week. So please hit subscribe. And if you're interested in opening an indoor playground, go to openanindoorplayground.com and take my free 1-hour class all about getting the funding that you need to open. So without further ado, here is my interview with Sarah.
My name is Sarah. I have been at Climbing Vines for almost 2 years now. I'm the manager here. I mainly just make sure everything runs smoothly here, make sure I help Michelle with anything needed. I make sure all our task list gets done from day to day, make sure all our employees are communicating properly and things are getting done the way they're supposed to.
So one of the most important things for our business as a brick and mortar is when somebody walks in, we need to make sure that they understand both our business model and our offerings. So when somebody walks in, can you walk us through that process and walk us through how you train employees to interact with the customer, whether they've been here before or whether they're here for the first time?
So I always make sure when a customer comes in, we are super friendly and very personal with them so they feel like they're at home and that their child is in a safe and fun environment. I always go over the rules with them, make sure they've been on our website and they've signed our waiver. If they have not, make sure we have them do it on their personal phone or an iPad that we supply here, along with knowing all the rules. Ask them if they want coffees, which is always a big thing with parents. And then just explain the facility to them and where they put their stuffs and the rules of the facility again.
So you mentioned rules. So one of the hardest things that we've found throughout this entire business is enforcing the policies that we do have. So when somebody is violating a rule, whether they're doing it for the first time or if they're a repeat offender, how do you handle that?
I always approach them very calmly and politely, and I just inform them of the rule one more time and ask them to obey. If it continues to happen, then I normally get more strict about it until they fully understand. If they, again, are not stopping, that's when I'll ask them to leave. Depending on how long they've been here, I try to be nice and maybe give them a day pass to come back another day when things are more calm and maybe it'll go better next time or something like that.
So say somebody, for example, the baby area. So say somebody is continually letting their child in there. What do you confront the parent usually, or do you try to get the child out? What is your process with that specific rule?
It's normally pretty easy to tell if an older child is in there. It's easy to tell if the parent is seeing it and allowing it, or if the kid is sneaking in there on their own. If the parent is not nearby, I normally confront the kid first in a friendly manner, and I'm like, hey, you're not supposed to be in here. Why don't we come back into the big kid area? You're not a baby anymore. If that doesn't work, then I normally try and get the parent involved and see if they can help get the child out. If they don't seem like they're breaking the rules, a lot of the times I'll show them, point right to the sign and have them read it and then explain that their kid really can't be in there. We're really just trying to be strict about it so a rule doesn't get broken repeatedly.
All right, so let's keep talking about when customer interactions kind of go awry. So say somebody confronts you with a complaint about the facility, whether it be that they have to wear socks or that it's busy or something like that, or that they can't bring their food in the play area. How do you handle customer complaints and how do you document them so they can be escalated if needed?
I always just am super friendly with the complaints and try and handle them as calmly as possible. Like socks and stuff like that, I just explain that it's a rule, it's a health issue, it's stuff like that, so that's why we do it. Complaints about our facility, I normally point out the positives. If they're trying to be negative, I'll react with a positive statement to ensure them that there's a reason we did it this way. And a lot of people do enjoy our facility, so I normally just try to take the positive approach rather than anything else.
So what if the customer is not having any of the positivity? How do you escalate that complaint and who deals with it from there?
So we actually have a little box out in our vestibule where people can write down complaints or recommendations for our facility in the business. So I normally just tell them to have them write it down, and I'll pass it along to Michelle or someone higher above, so we can try and deal with the complaint itself. Or if they're complaining about the facility, sometimes I'll actually just recommend another place close by that they could go to that might be able to suit their child better than our facility.
Great. So can you give an example of that? Like, does that happen when a child is maybe too old for our facility?
Yes. It happens the most when kids are older and they just get bored here. They don't really like the imaginary play. So there's places closer by that are much larger and much more
gross motor focused, I think.
Yes.
So we don't take every complaint necessarily as a negative. It's just we know that we're not meant for everyone. Awesome. So a complaint that we don't hear a lot, but we have gotten from time to time, especially on really, really busy days later in the afternoon, is about cleanliness. So can you talk to me a little bit about the importance of cleaning the facility and what you tend to focus on and how you kind of do that throughout the day?
Yeah, so the playroom especially, we try to clean it at least every 30 minutes, if not sooner, depending on how messy it is, how many kids are in there, stuff like that. On busy days, it is hard to get in there and can keep it clean only because kids are always playing with the toys. You go in there and you pick one thing up and they put something else down, so it's kind of a battle. But we just try to keep it looking neat for those new customers that do come in and they have to look at the playroom ahead of time. The cafe, normally just sweep and mop, or not mop necessarily, but sweep every time there's dirt on the floor, every time someone leaves the table, clean the table. Just basically clean up right after the customer so it always looks presentable to new people coming in.
How do you handle germs when it gets busy? So are you taking wipes in there and wiping things down? And if so, what do you focus on when you do that?
Yes, we do have cleaning wipes that we use a lot of the times. Inside the playroom, we have the bin for mouth toys, so we normally wash that out every once in a while when it starts to get full, so we can constantly keep putting the toys back into the playroom. As far as wiping down the toys, we normally go for like the slides, the big toys, things that kids put their hands on the most. I mean, we don't have time to wipe down every single toy in there, but as long as we focus on the things that get used the most and touch the most, like the sensory boards, the slides, the like tables inside the playroom, stuff like that.
Awesome. So that is something that we usually get compliments about because you guys do such a great job of keeping the facility clean. So what are some of the most important things for customers to know, whether it be when they first come in or just in general?
I think a really important thing is when someone walks in and they've never been here, or if they have been here, it's just a nice reminder that we are like nut-free and stuff like that. Just for safety reasons, it's good to always remind customers of that. It's good to remind them of the rules all over again, just so there's not an issue in the future. And I think it's good that people know like about us. A lot of people will come up and ask questions about who the owner is, like why we started this business and stuff like that. So I think it's always good to give a customer the background of us because it makes them feel more welcome to come here and they understand us as a company.
Awesome, perfect. So what is your favorite thing about your job?
Honestly, I'd have to say my favorite thing is just interacting with the kids. We have a lot of customers that come here all the time, and they've came here since we opened. So it's really cool just to watch their children grow up and get older, especially our regulars that we get to see a couple times a week, and they've been here for years, so we get to watch their kids grow with them. It's really just kind of like something rewarding.
Yeah, that is so sweet. What is the hardest thing about your job?
I'd say enforcing the rules, honestly. A lot of parents take our rules lightly sometimes. So it's just, you never want to be mean to a customer, but sometimes it's just hard to get them to take us seriously with our rules because once upon a time, if we were lenient about it, they take advantage of that.
Right, but we don't let that happen anymore.
Yes.
So why did we decide? Can you explain a little bit about why we decided to not let people break the rules? So for example, I know previously a couple years ago, if nobody was in the baby area, we would let, say, a 3-year-old go in and use it. But we don't do that anymore. So that was actually one of your suggestions. So can you talk a little bit about why we made that decision?
Yes. Mainly because once you allow something one time, it kind of starts a pattern, especially with younger kids. They think it's okay then because we let them do it one time. They're going to want to do it every time they're here. And if there's other kids here, that second time that they come back, you can't allow it, and it makes the child confused. And if other kids see them in there, they're going to want to do it also. And then it's just a chain of events that doesn't always end well.
Right. So what is the most common question you get from people who call who have never been here before?
Most of the time it's about our facility. They'll inform me of the age of their child and ask if it's a good suit for their kid. And I normally recommend that if their kid is under the age of 5, it's probably a very good fit for them, especially if they're into the imaginary play and stuff like that. People that call that tell me they have a kid over the age of 5, I normally tell them our age limit and try and explain to them that their kid might not enjoy it here as much as a younger kid. They might get bored pretty quickly. I don't want a customer to come here and waste their time and get here and be disappointed, so I'd rather just tell them ahead of time. But that's the most common thing people ask when they call. It's just about the facility itself.
What do you do when somebody walks in for the first time, say with a 6 or 7-year-old who maybe looks like they don't enjoy imaginary play? How do you handle that?
I always recommend that they walk around first and look at the playroom and look if it's something that their child is intrigued by and looks like they can stay here for at least a couple hours and have fun, and make them make the decision themselves. I inform them of our age limit and stuff like that and who we cater to necessarily, but I let them make the ultimate decision once they look at our playroom.
Awesome. So you don't charge them first, you kind of let them walk around.
Yes, I always let them just look, and then they can decide if they do want to play or if they don't, but I won't make them pay until they've made a decision.
Awesome. So what's the process like when you get to capacity? How do you handle when someone comes in if you're at capacity, and how do you handle a wait list situation?
So if it's a very super, super busy day and we get to capacity super quickly and people are not leaving, I make sure I inform Michelle because it's much better to post that on our social media and our website and stuff like that ahead of time, so I don't have a ton of people waiting outside that are getting super impatient. We also put signs up on the door to let people know ahead of time before they walk in. They are more than welcome to still come in and grab a drink or sit at a table and draw or anything like that. Sometimes we have crafts available that they can do, so they have something to do before they wait or while they wait. But normally capacity goes smoothly. A lot of people are okay with waiting and okay with doing coloring and stuff like that until a family leaves, and then they can go back in. They also do not have to pay until they enter the playroom. If they're just sitting here, if they want to get snacks and stuff, they can pay for that stuff, but they don't have to actually pay for a play pass until they do come in and play.
Awesome, that makes sense. So one of the last questions, how do you sell memberships and packages, and how do you work that into the conversation? Do you ask every single customer or people that come in frequently, or how do you handle that?
It's easiest to ask the frequent customers because they are here often. I normally don't mention it to first timers unless they're asking about our packages and memberships and stuff like that. Then I'll give them all the information on it. But normally people that come in here all the time, it's just best that they know because they do come in here all the time and they're actually saving money by buying a membership or a package rather than paying every time they come. So I explain that to them. Especially if we're having a sale going on. If we're having a sale, I mention it to every customer because we do really good deals, and most customers are very intrigued by it, and it pays off in the long run.
Yeah, absolutely. So say you have a suggestion or want to change something, what do you do then?
I normally just, if I think of it, I just write it down quick, and then me and Michelle will have like a weekly meeting and discuss all the ideas I have or like plans I think that are a good idea, just like something that might spark interest, and we can take it from there. Me and Michelle are very good at collaborating ideas together to make everything run smoothly and come up with new ideas and stuff like that.
Awesome. Any last thoughts?
I don't think so. Not on the top of my head right now.
All right, well, thank you so much for interviewing with me, and I'm sure this was really helpful, so thank you so much.
You're welcome.